Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Chef Vic Cuisine. Today we're making a lobster roll. Now this recipe is inspired from the Northeast US. This classic lobster roll is a perfect way to combine that delicious lobster meat with the classic sandwich form. So let's get started. So jumping right into the recipe, we're going to start off with the prep needed to make these lobster rolls. First off, we're going to need 4 brioche hot dog buns that we're going to trim the sides off of and make sure we open the seam within for all the filling of the lobster roll. We're also going to need about 1 large celery stalk that we're going to mince. So I like to chop it along the length of it first and then double back with the knife and chop that into really fine pieces. You're also going to need about 1 to 2 tablespoons worth of chives, so you want to take a handful of chives and chop those into fine pieces as well. Next, you want to take a fine mesh grater and grate 1 large lemon to create about 1 teaspoon's worth of lemon zest. We're also going to chop this lemon in half to use half the lemon's juice, which is about 1 tablespoon's worth of lemon juice for this recipe. Now, if you're starting with raw lobster, we want to bring a large pot of water to boil. For this recipe, we're going to need 1 pound of lobster meat, or approximately the meat from 2 2-pound lobsters. Once the water is boiling, we want to add the lobster and boil it until they become bright red and cook through, which should take approximately 5 minutes. After those 5 minutes, we want to cool the lobster under running cold water, and then you can crack the shell open and remove the lobster meat. Once you've removed the lobster meat, you want to drain the lobster meat and pat it dry. I like chopping it into larger chunks, and for now you can set it aside. And for presentation purposes, I like keeping the lobster claw itself intact. Once you're serving a lobster roll, it really shows you what you're eating. Now on to making the dressing for the lobster roll. In a medium-sized bowl, we want to add in 1/4 cup's worth of mayonnaise, with our diced celery as well as our diced chives. Next, you want to add in your lemon zest as well as the juice of half a lemon. You also want to add in 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt, 1/4 teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper. I also like adding in 1/4 teaspoon of Old Bay seasoning as well as 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. Whisk all these ingredients together until they're well combined, and this creates the dressing for your lobster roll. Now, in a large skillet set over medium heat, we want to melt 2 tablespoons worth of salted butter in the pan. And once it's melted, we want to add in our cooked lobster meat. Our goal here is just to warm the meat back up, so you only need to cook it for about 2 minutes, tossing it evenly amongst the butter. Here, you want to transfer the lobster meat using a slotted spoon into the bowl of your dressing. Gently toss the lobster meat and the rest of the ingredients to coat them well. Now, back to the large frying skillet, you want to add the remaining 2 tablespoons worth of salted butter to the pan, melting that over medium heat. And here, we want to toast the hot dog buns on the cut sides until they become golden brown and toasted, which should take roughly about 2 minutes per side. Your goal is for the buns to look something like this. Remove those from the pan and set them into serving platters. And now you want to stuff the lobster meat into the toasted buns. And for final touches, I like garnishing them with some additional chopped chives. And just like that, you've made lobster rolls right at home. These are absolutely delicious, served alongside a bowl of potato chips. I hope you can tell with this recipe that they're pretty easy to make. They really pack a lot of flavor. And when you do try these at home, make sure to tag me at Chef Vic Cuisine or hashtag Chef Vic Cuisine so I can see your great takes on this dish. As always, this recipe and many more can be found in my cookbook, Chef Vic Cuisine Volume 4, Enhancing Your Inner Chef. And that's available on Amazon, and I'll be sure to leave a link to that in my description box. Feel free to click the pop-up on your screen for more information on that as well. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed learning how to make a lobster roll, and if you did, make sure you smash that like button for me. It's one of the best ways to show support for this channel. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button too to see more recipes just like this one. And sharing is caring, so if you enjoyed this recipe and think someone else will too, feel free to share this with all your family and friends. And stay tuned for next week where I show you another really easy recipe to make and a great option for lunch or dinner, pepper steak. You don't want to miss this one, and I can't wait to show you guys this recipe. Well, thank you all again so much for watching. I really hope you did enjoy this recipe. And if you did, you can always check out more recipes on my page now. YouTube thinks you'll like these videos, so let's see if they're right. And I'll catch you next time on another episode of Chef Cuisine. And until then, peace.